It's the Happy Hippo Harmonium channel here, and today we're going to look at how to play a version of Namah Shivaya by Krishna. So this one's a little bit harder in terms of timing and such. So if you want to familiarize yourself with a similar chord pattern, I recommend going to learn Hallelujah Shri Ram, which is very similar in its chord pattern. In fact, the first progression is identical. And it's much easier. Once you've got your fingering around that, come back to Namah Shivaya, and I think you'll be away. But anyway, if you're feeling confident, have a look anyway. So thank you very much for watching, and if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comment box.
Right, so let's check out how to play a version of Namah Shivaya by Krishna. So this version here is played in C minor, and it consists of 4 chords, and these are C minor, which is made up of the notes C, E flat, and G. Then there's B flat major, and that's made up of the notes B flat, D, and F. However, in this song, I like to leave that D out and just play the B flat and the F because I think it sounds better. Then you've got E flat major, and that consists of the notes B flat, E flat, and G. And then you've got A flat major, and that consists of the notes C, E flat, and A flat. So, this song is made up of 2 progressions, and it's really the first progression that is the main progression. What I mean by that is it's the first progression over which most melodies are sung. So what I'll do is I'll sing the whole song through, I'll sing all the various parts, and you can just watch, and then I'll talk about them afterwards. So it goes. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namaha. Shivaya Namaha. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Kircha Shankara Namah Shivaya. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Kircha Shankara Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya. So that's the various parts of the song. So let's break it down and have a look at the first part. So the first progression goes like this. It goes C minor to A flat major to B flat major to C minor. And so things to note here. Well, each chord is held for a count of 4. And I like to do a couple of things to make it easier for myself. So I like to step up here to the A flat major, and then I like to quickly step back down when I'm going to the B flat major. So I use this note here, the G, as a transition. And then when I go from the B flat major back to the C minor, I use this note here, the E flat, as my transitioning note. So I press this note here before I press the C and the G. And what that does, it just allows for the whole thing to sound much smoother, which is really what you want to achieve. So the first part, the Om Namah Shivaya, the key thing to note here is that you start singing on the second beat, so you've got a beat of space. So what I did at the beginning is I just used some kind of verbal placeholder. So when I was practicing by myself, so you could just say doof, for example. So it goes doof. Om Namah Shivaya. Doof. Om Namah Shivaya. And that doof really helps you with that. And it is exactly the same for the second part of for the Shivaya Namaha. Shivaya Nama Om. It has that placeholder. So it goes doof. Shivaya Namaha. Doof. Shivaya Namaha. That doof is really important. And also remember that the chords are held for a count of 4 here for those two parts. However, moving on to the third melody on this progression, the chords are only now held for a count of 2. And you start singing immediately. So that gives that song the whole sort of, it's picking up, it's going somewhere kind of feel. And it goes like this. Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya. Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya. And the high part is exactly the same. It begins immediately, there's no space, and the chords are held for a count of 2. Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya. Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya. So those are the melodies that are played on that first progression. So let's have a look at the melodies played on the second progression. Let's have a look at the second progression first of all. So the second progression goes like this. It goes E flat major to B flat major to A flat major and then back to B flat major. And here again, all chords are held for a count of 4. And it goes like this. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. That part is pretty easy. The Om lands on the first beat, so there's no space at all. The second melody that you can sing over the top of this progression is the repeated Om Namah Shivaya. So, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om. And in this case, it's the Nama. So, Om Namah Shivaya, that lands on that first beat. The Om is still sitting in the previous chord. So it goes Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah. So it's that Nama that really sits on that first beat. So that's really it for this song. It's quite easy once you get your head around it and have played it a few times. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.